for you this lesson from Unity of the Keys Spiritual Center. Oh, and so here we are. Here we are in this beautiful space together. And I'm hoping that perhaps I got your attention a little bit with the title of today's lesson, a little bit different for Unity. So there is something beautiful, isn't there? Something wonderful about a Sunday gathering, something soft and sacred. Whether we're sitting here together or connecting across time and space, we share a common intention to become more peaceful, more loving, and more whole. Today, I want to talk about something we all experience, something we carry, often without even realizing how heavy it is, and that's negative error thoughts, what I call in this talk Satan. And more importantly, I want to talk about what it means to let go of those error thoughts and to move forward in love. So let's start this talk with honesty. That's always a good place to start. It feels like there are many really unhappy people today, really unhappy, dissatisfied. People whose lives have become overwhelmed by what's happening in their families or their community or their country or the world. And I get it, I do. There are a lot of things happening in our world that hurts our hearts. There is an overwhelmment, almost an addiction to what is happening for some. People are eager to read this article or obsessed with the news, to hear a report on how terrible the world is. So let's get real about this. Is that how we should start our day or live our day? Is that in our highest and greatest good? Does it set the intention for moving forward into our world, moving forward from our space and living and moving and having our being from a state of love? Is it healthy? All this attention to the news, which is 99.9% negative. Does it feed our soul? Or does it feed our ego, that part of us that needs to keep us safe and which thrives on fear? So here's a little example about a realization that came to me just a few days ago as I've had this talk on my mind, on my heart. I'm also working on a project that involves sea glass. And that's all I'm going to tell you about this for now. You'll see for yourself before the holidays. So for my project, I'm dividing the glass that I have found into colors, the blue in one place and the green in another and the clear over here. And sometimes I find that I reach for a piece of glass and I think I'm going to be placing it, let's say, with the blue glass, only to find once I pick it up, it isn't blue at all, it's clear. But that a piece of blue glass was laying beneath it. And that colored glass usually is so much smaller than the clear piece on top, yet the entire clear glass looks blue. My vision was being influenced by the blue showing through it. I don't know if y'all can see this. Let's say a little piece of blue. I'm trying to pick up this piece of clear glass, but it appears blue. We are like that. For what is at our core, whether it's love or fear, whether it's curiosity or distrust, compassion, or feelings of unworthiness, whatever is our blue glass, that's our core, and it is coloring and it's influencing everything else, everything else, everything we face in the world, all the news, every interaction with another, every text or phone call, every glance or comment is colored by our core. So when our core is fear or distrust or feelings of unworthiness, we live in frustration and confusion and upsetness. Everything feels like an affront, an insult, and we take offense. We imagine a slight where one doesn't really exist. And this general discord does not add to the peace of our world. It adds to disharmony. It adds to the division. It adds to chaos. And when our core is love and curiosity and appreciation, as it said in our daily word today, or compassion, that's our inner peace. Regardless of what is happening in the world, that contributes to peace overall. It uplifts our world. In this space, we are not hypersensitive to thinking that anyone is against us or out to get us. We aren't looking for a fight or seeing a dispute where there really isn't one. Our inner glass has not distorted our world to see only the negative. Jane Goodall, who made her transition just this past week, said, "You cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you. What you do," and I will add, and what you think, "makes a difference. And you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make." We thank you, Jane Goodall, and we bless you on your journey. Of course, we may disagree with some action, something that's happening goes against how we believe. And we can move forward and personally do something to counter that action and still remain in a state of inner peace. We remember to be for something, not against it. What we resist persists. Let's say that together. What we resist persists. We know that. That's a basic unity saying. And we can still practice other acceptance. So what is other acceptance? I'm referring to the other person, the other group, the other religion, the other country, the other party. We can disagree with an action of another and still hold that within every being is a pure heart. And that is a challenge to our human self, our self with a small s, our ego. Our ego wants to create an us and them situation where we can be right and the other, whoever they are, is wrong. They are to be feared and to be ostracized, creating distance. The ego makes us think that that is the safe way to be. But what it really does is make us fearful and isolated and angry, sad, perhaps even feeling hopeless at times. Now, we all have negative thoughts. Some are quiet, they're passing through like clouds, and others stick around, taking root. Maybe it's a voice in our heads that says, "You're not good enough." Maybe it's judgment towards others, towards the world, resulting in resentment and regret or fear. These thoughts aren't always loud, but they can be powerful. For negative thoughts can become habits. That's the good news. They can become stories we tell ourselves so often that we stop questioning them. So why is that good news? Because we can change our habits. We can change our habits so that these negative thoughts do not shape our lives from the inside out. For negative thoughts are not the enemy, they are simply messengers. They usually come from a place of pain or fear or unmet needs. But when we cling to them, when we let them define us, they block the flow of life. They block the flow of love. They could be called Satan or the devil or error thinking. Most of us think that the spiritual battle is happening out there. Temptations, bad influences, toxic people, the devil lurking around a corner. But Jesus, who we see as our elder brother and wayshower, taught us by pointing the spotlight somewhere far more uncomfortable, inside our own hearts and our own minds. There's a story in the Gospel of Matthew that tells us that when Peter pulled Jesus aside and tried to talk him out of the cross, Jesus didn't gently correct him. He said, "Get behind me, Satan. You are not thinking as God does, but as humans do." So notice the problem wasn't Peter's loyalty or his emotion. It was his reasoning. He was not thinking from the source of love. Ephesians tells us that there's a spirit in your mind, a spirit in your mind that needs to be renewed. Your thoughts are not just neurons firing, they're spiritual currents, and those currents are being influenced by fear or pride or survival instincts or by the divine, by your Christ consciousness. That is why reasoning can feel so convincing. It sounds like you, but the source can be your own ego. Now, the Bible's full of examples of people reasoning themselves right out of making divinely guided decisions. Eve looked at the fruit and decided it was good for food and desirable for wisdom. It sounded logical. It did not end well for Eve or Adam. The story of the Israelites in the desert rebelling against God's will for them, his plan to enter the promised land, deciding Egypt was safer than trusting God for manna. Sounded practical. It was slavery. Peter thought he was protecting Jesus by steering him away from suffering. It sounded loyal. It was his own fear. Unsound reasoning always has the same flaw. It starts from the ego instead of from love, from spirit. Now, Jesus warned about the leaven of the Pharisees, not just their rules, but their way of thinking. Like yeast in dough, fear and self-preservation spread quietly through your mind until every thought is bent around them. It doesn't announce itself. It just changes the atmosphere inside you until worry feels normal. Mistrust feels wise, and faith feels naive. Now, I'm sure each one of us can think of a decision we've made sometime in our past that sounded quite logical at the time, very reasonable to us, that had actually sprouted from a space of fear. The only way forward is to start with God, with trust. Not trust in circumstances, not trust in the outcome, but trust in universal life, universal love, the divine. Our human side, our human reasoning asks, how can this work out? And our divine reasoning declares God is good, everywhere present, so this will work out somehow. We claim it. The difference isn't optimism, it's the starting point of spirit. That's what renewal of the mind is really about. It's not learning new Bible facts, but letting spirit replace our unsound logic of fear and self-protection and teaching us to start with love. The difference between "get behind me, Satan," and well done, good and faithful servant isn't just about what you do. It's how you think before you ever act. And that's why we need spirit, divine love, to guide and direct our reasoning self, to create a space for wisdom to inform love, spurred onward by zeal. So let me say this clearly for anyone who needs to hear it. You are not your negative thoughts. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are something deeper, far brighter. You are a soul, a light. And the truth of who you are is love. So, how do we begin to let go of negativity? By not fighting it, not shaming ourselves for having it. Letting go is not about pushing away our pain. It's about softening into awareness. It's about noticing with compassion what's really going on inside of us, our thoughts. So when a negative thought arises, they are wrong. Those people are evil. She's an idiot. They just want me for my money. He is wrong. Pause. Take a breath. And ask again gently, is it true? Is it kind? Is it helpful? If we are all one, if God truly is everywhere present and within all, how can labeling be good? If we are all one, in that oneness, we are all unique expressions of our personality. And so damning or judging another is actually damning or judging a part of ourselves in our oneness. Have you seen the slogan, labels are for jars, not people? We can practice letting go, not once, but again and again, because our minds are habitual and they're also trainable. We do not have to remain stuck. Our brains, our hearts, our spirits, they are always capable of change. And when we make that decision into that space, something new can grow. And that something new is love. Universal love, soul level love, the kind of love that sees the sacred in all beings. When we move forward with love, we choose to live from a different place, not from fear, not from lack, not from bitterness, but from connection. And we stop asking, what do I need to defend? And we start asking, what do I have to give? How can I be love here in the midst of this? We stop seeing others as threats and start seeing them as mirrors. Each person, like us, trying to find their way home. And each time we choose to let go of negativity, we are reborn spiritually, emotionally, energetically. We become clearer, kinder, and lighter. We begin to align with something greater than ourselves, to a deeper truth, that love is the essence of who we are. And that when we live from that essence, we help heal the world. We don't need to be perfect. We just need to be willing to soften, willing to be aware, to forgive, to listen, to love. The world needs people like that. The world needs you. For when we are certain who we are, groundly, secured in love. All else is diffused. Anger comes less quickly. There's nothing to take offense to. We do not feel threatened or fearful. And so, dear friends, here's my invitation to you. This week, when a negative thought arises, and it will, for we are also human, pause. Don't fight it, and don't believe it. Just see it, name it, release it, and then choose again. Choose love. Speak kindly to yourself and others. Offer someone grace. Practice the presence and release judgment. You don't have to change your whole life overnight. Just take one step, one moment of awareness, one act of love, and then another, and then another. Because that's how we transform, not through grand gestures, but through the small, daily, sacred choices we make. So let today be the day you lay down your burdens. Let today be the day you speak gently to yourself and to all others. Let today be the day you choose peace over pain. Let today be the day that you remember you are light. You are love. You are the miracle that can change this world. And so let's take a breath now as we move into the time of our inner connection. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your heart beating. Lift your shoulders upward and back, opening that heart space. Breathing in deeply and back out. This moment is a gift. This breath is enough. You don't need to fix everything. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to be anyone but who you are. Now allow the music and the lyrics and the meditation to help remind you who you are.